On May 22nd, 2014, New Japan Pro Wrestling returned to AXS TV. And so New Japan Pro Wrestling was back. And of course, they air wrestling matches that happened quite a while ago. They happened a year ago, but they are still definitely worth checking out if you've not seen them, or if you have seen them, whether you know what happened or don't know what happened. I would definitely recommend checking out New Japan Pro Wrestling. And this past week on May 22nd, they aired the Best of the Super Junior 21. That's the Best of the Super Junior Tournament from last year, 2014. It happened on June 8th, 2014, and that was at the Yoyogi National Gymnasium in Yoyogi, Japan. So they aired the semifinals and the finals. And first off, they started off with the semifinal matchup between Kushida, and he's half of the Time Splitters, and Taichi, and he's part of the Suzuki Army. And Kushida, of course, trained at the infamous Takada Dojo. And so Taichi, he came out first. He serenaded the crowd, lip-singing as he made his way down to the ring. Taichi had been the subject of controversy regarding pictures that were on the internet, and he was looking to take out his aggression on Kushida as he grabbed a chair and he went to meet Kushida at the top of the entrance ramp. Taichi hit Kushida with a chair, laying him out, and then dragged him to the ring, inflicting damage along the way, smashing Kushida's head into the steel chair before the match had even begun. Then once Taichi tossed Kushida into the ring, he hit him with the chair in the midsection, and then he broke the chair over Kushida's head right in the middle of the ring. Astonishingly enough, this did not result in a DQ. At this point, Alex Shelley came out to defend his Time Splitter brother, but Taka Michinoku from the Kaientai Dojo and a member of the Suzuki Army. You may remember him from his time spent in WWE, back when it was WWF. Taka was there to team up on Shelley with Taichi. The two Suzuki Gun members used the chair to inflict pain on Kushida's tag team partner Alex Shelley as he was unable to defend his friend, but he did manage to buy Kushida some time as the two villains were busy with Shelley rather than beating up on Kushida. So finally, the referee, Tiger Hattori, called for the match to begin. Taichi tried to pin Kushida as soon as the match did begin, but Kushida kicked out. Taichi then put Kushida in the corner, but Kushida hit him with some chops across the chest. Taichi then relied on some dirty tricks as he raked the eyes of Kushida. Taichi then put Kushida back in the corner and hit him with a running clothesline. Taichi then went to clothesline Kushida over the ropes as he was now on the rope towards the midway point on the outer axis of the ring, but Kushida caught him with a backflip kick and then an enziguri from the outside of the ring standing on the ring apron. Kushida then hit Taichi with a springboard overhead chop followed by a double axe handle and then a flying forearm that sent Taichi to the outside of the ring. Kushida then looked to be going for a plancha or maybe a suicide dive, but Taka Michinoku grabbed the feet of Kushida. The two locked up and Taka was on the apron. Kushida was in the ring, and then Alex Shelley grabbed Taka's feet, pulling him down to the floor. Taichi then hit the ring, looking to take advantage of a distracted Kushida, but Kushida hit him and tossed Taichi over the top rope down towards Michinoku and Shelley, and then International Airline Kushida took flight as he landed the somersault plancha on Taka and Taichi as Shelley held them in position, then ducked out at the last second. Kushida now tossed Taichi into the ring and hit him with a springboard dropkick off the ropes. He then threw Taichi into the corner, but that's where Taichi lives as he countered Kushida, moving out of the way and sending Kushida into the corner, using his momentum against him. Taichi then hit Kushida with the buzzsaw kick a la Kushida's mentor Yasuhiro Tajiri, who you may remember from ECW. Taichi then hit Kushida with the Taichi Shiki Liger Bomb, his version of a sit-down power bomb, into a pin, but Kushida kicked at it too. Taichi then ripped his own pants off as he had on what looked like starter pants that NBA players wear during shoot-arounds, but with a cooler design. Taichi then went for a super kick, but Kushida reversed it and hit him with a forearm, followed by a step-up enziguri. Kushida then set up Taichi with a backbreaker and went to the top rope attempting a moonsault, but Taichi put his knees up and caught Kushida shin on shin, knee to knee, as both men paid the price for the maneuver. At this point, Taka Michinoku slyly placed Taichi's mic stand in the ring and then went to the opposite side of the ring and distracted Tiger Hattori. Taichi grabbed the mic stand and laid out Alex Shelley, who was on the ring apron. Taichi then swung at Kushida but missed as Kushida ducked. Taichi then tossed the mic stand into the hands of Kushida and dropped to the ground, pretending to have been hit with a foreign object by Kushida. Just as Tiger Hattori turned around, Tiger Hattori grabbed the mic stand from Kushida, and then as he was taking it out of the ring, Taka Michinoku grabbed Tiger and Taichi kicked Kushida right in the breadbasket, nailing him with a dirty low blow. Taichi then put Kushida in the Taichi Shiki Ghetto Clutch, a double leg Nelson for the pin, but somehow Kushida managed to kick out in time. Taichi then signaled to the crowd that he was going to finish Kushida, and it looked like he was going for the Black Mephisto, then over the shoulder back to belly pile driver, but Kushida slid out of it and then hit Taichi with a drop kick. Kushida then went for another buzzsaw kick, but Taichi ducked and pushed Kushida into Tiger Hattori, the referee. Taichi then hit Kushida with a super kick, and now with the referee laid out, Taka Michinoku got in the ring and grabbed Kushida, but Alex Shelley came to his partner's defense, hitting Taichi with a super kick of his own, and then he went for another super kick on Taka. It didn't quite connect full on, but it was enough to send Taka back a couple steps, at which point Shelley clotheslined him over the top rope to the floor. Kushida then did a tilt-a-whirl into a hoverboard lock, his version of the Kimura lock, and he got the submission and the win over Taichi. So Kushida moving on as he gets the win in the semifinals. Now he's going to the finals of the Super Junior 21 tournament, the best of the Super Juniors. So an impressive match. It was an awesome match, just so much excellence. That's why I had to break it all the way down, because it was just so awesome. And if you enjoyed that at all, definitely go check out the replay. They're going to be replaying it Friday night. That's May 29th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then at 9 o'clock, they're going to be having the next episode. I'm not going to tell you just right now what that is. I'll tell you once I actually go through the whole Super Junior 21 results that they aired. But this was the first match. They also had two more matches, as there was another semifinal match and then the final match. But as for this match, I thought it was awesome. These guys are both excellent competitors, and I mean, it's just a pleasure to be able to see it, and it's pretty cool that AXS has been showing New Japan Pro Wrestling. They're showing it last year, now they're back, and it was fun watching even the replays again, and it's fun seeing it, even as, you know, old as it might be. It's almost a year old, but it's still awesome wrestling, definitely worth checking out, in my opinion. So I would definitely recommend that you go check that out if you are a fan of professional wrestling, as these guys are some of the top performers in the entire world. New Japan Pro, this is where Finn Balor was wrestling before he came over and, you know, joined NXT. Also, plenty of other wrestlers have wrestled over there over the years. I could sit here and name them off, but I'm going to name off a couple of them later because of what ends up happening in the finals. But definitely, this is something you want to check out. Of course, Finn Balor, when he was over there, he was wrestling as Prince Fergal Devitt. But as enough for that, this match right here, though, between Kushida and Taichi, was a great match. It was a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to cover. Like I said, I would definitely recommend checking that out. Let me know what you thought about this match. If you did check it out, leave me a comment below and let me know what you thought about it in the comments section. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. Thank you very much for listening. It is appreciated. AXS then aired the second semifinal match of the Best of the Super Junior 21 tournament, and it featured Ryusuke Taguchi versus Ricochet. Taguchi won this tournament back in 2012, going against the likes of Alex Kozlov, Brian Kendrick, Neville of WWE and NXT fame, and Low Key from TNA. And here he was facing Ricochet. The winner of this tournament would end up getting a chance at the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, and Taguchi is a former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. This match started with a show of respect as the two men shook hands and the match was underway. Ricochet attempted a roundhouse kick as Taguchi was going for a lockup. Ricochet missed the kick as Taguchi ducked and then grabbed Ricochet, putting him in a side headlock. Ricochet fought off the headlock and pushed Taguchi toward the ropes. Taguchi hit Ricochet with a shoulder block, but Ricochet sprung back to his feet with a show of athleticism. Ricochet continued to show his tremendous agility, jumping over Taguchi with a flip and then rolling under a clothesline by Taguchi and catching him for a Hurricane Rana. Taguchi then ducked under the bottom rope, escaping to the outside. Ricochet then looked like he was going for a plancha, but instead taunted Taguchi by bouncing off the ropes with a handspring and two backflips, landing dead center into a pose and shaking his hips in the middle of the ring like the late great ravishing Rick Rude, much to the delight of the crowd who cheered on Ricochet and his show of athletic prowess. Taguchi then made his way to the ring apron, and Ricochet sent him back to the outside with a single dropkick. Ricochet then hit the rope and did a cartwheel into a backhand spring, but Taguchi caught him with a kick to the back and then a springboard missile dropkick. Taguchi then did the Prince Devitt pose as a shout out to his former tag team partner Finn Balor. Taguchi then hit the ropes and took flight, hitting Ricochet with a somersault plancha. At this point in the broadcast, they would jump ahead due to time constraints. The two men were now in the ring trading forearms to the face, and Ricochet hit Taguchi with 4 European uppercuts. Ricochet went to Irish Rip Taguchi into the corner, but Taguchi reversed it and sent Ricochet into the corner instead, then drop kicked him. Taguchi then ran back to the opposite corner to go back for another running attack, but Ricochet was right behind him and caught Taguchi in the corner with a drop kick of his own. Ricochet then went back to the opposite corner. He was just in to try a running attack of his own, but it was Taguchi who now caught him in the corner with a drop kick for the second time. Taguchi then hit Ricochet with a Blue Thunder Bomb for the pin, but Ricochet kicked out at the last second. Taguchi then hit Ricochet with a snap suplex and then another, and went for a third a la Eddie Guerrero's Three Amigos, but on the third in the chain, Ricochet escaped and hit Taguchi with a back kick. Ricochet then hit the ropes, but Taguchi caught him with an enziguri. Taguchi then hit Ricochet with an inverted suplex slam into a pin, but Ricochet kicked out. Taguchi then went to set up Ricochet for his finisher, the Dodon, of which he has 3 variations. This one starting with an elevated double chicken wing, but Ricochet was able to reverse it into a roll-up for the pin, but Taguchi kicked out at 2 3/4. Ricochet then lifted Taguchi up into the fireman's carry, looking for the Benadryller roundhouse kick, but Taguchi ducked under the kick and went for a tiger suplex, but Ricochet landed on his feet and hit Taguchi with the Superman punch. Ricochet then lifted Taguchi back up into the fireman's carry, and this time he connected with the Benadryller roundhouse kick, and it was 1, 2, 3. Ricochet wins. So Ricochet defeats Taguchi in the semifinals to advance to the finals, where he would face Kushida. And this match went 5 minutes and 49 seconds. So it was a very entertaining match for sure. Ricochet and Taguchi are both top-notch competitors and athletes and professional wrestlers as far as it's concerned around the world. They're amazing. Ricochet, just, you gotta see him to believe him. His athletic ability is just something that words cannot describe. Taguchi, he is also very excellent in the ring. He can fly around, he can do it all, technical, everything. The Funky Dragon, and he was getting down, but Ricochet just caught him with that Benadryller, and that was all she wrote. So it was a very entertaining match for sure. An excellent, competition and exhibition. Definitely enjoyed it. I thought this was an awesome match. Both matches in the semifinals were definitely worth checking out. Originally, they aired it on May 22nd. They replayed it on May 29th. I'm sure you can find it on the internet as well. And it's, of course, it's from last year, last June 8th, but it's definitely still worth checking out. Something that I would recommend watching it anytime that you have a moment to check out some awesome wrestling. Whether you're familiar with New Japan Pro Wrestling or whether it's the first time you've ever seen it, I definitely think it's something that you would enjoy and should give a look. So let me know, though, if you checked it out in the comment section below, what you thought about the match. And let me know also if you haven't seen it and maybe now you're interested in checking it out. I'm telling you, AXS Television, it's on Friday nights. Set your DVRs. I know most of you probably aren't home on Friday nights. Maybe you are, maybe you're not, or maybe you're busy, whether you're home or out. And so it's always, it's tough to catch live, but it's something I would definitely recommend putting in your DVR and setting that to watch when you do get some time. But let me know in the comment section below what you thought about Ricochet versus Taguchi. Thank you very much for listening. It is appreciated. So now the finals were set for the Best of the Super Junior 21 tournament, and it was Kushida versus Ricochet. And Kushida had defeated Ricochet when they faced off in the regular season by submission via the hoverboard lock. But here, June 8, 2014 is when it originally took place. The AXS network aired it on May 22nd. They replayed it on the 29th. And this match would get underway and started with a lockup. Both men ended up trading positions against the ropes, which led to a referee breakup of the lock. Kushida then took Ricochet to the ground, taking his right leg out from under him with a single leg takedown. Ricochet would reverse Kushida's ground game with an arm wringer as both men went back to their feet, and Ricochet applied a wrist lock, but Kushida reversed it and put Ricochet into a wrist lock. Ricochet was able to get out of the lock, and the two men jockeyed for position on the ground before returning to their feet, and Ricochet backed away into the corner. Kushida then went to the ground and tempted Ricochet to bring the fight down to the mat as he was trying to keep the high flyer grounded, but Kushida is no stranger to aerial maneuvers himself. Ricochet refused to go down to Kushida on the mat, and the two would lock up in a test of strength. Ricochet applied another wrist lock, but Kushida reversed it and took down Ricochet into a short arm scissors, working over his arm potentially for the hoverboard lock later in the match. Ricochet managed to escape the short arm scissors using his athleticism and getting Kushida in a head scissors as both men ended up back on their feet once again. Ricochet would then get Kushida in a side headlock. Kushida pushed Ricochet into the ropes and Ricochet landed a shoulder block, but Kushida did not leave his feet. Kushida then pointed at the ropes, asking Ricochet to try another shoulder block off the ropes, but instead Ricochet caught Kushida with a back kick to the midsection. Ricochet then Irish whipped Kushida into the ropes and leapfrogged him. Kushida did a cartwheel. Ricochet rolled under a clothesline and did two backflips, catching Kushida for a head scissors takedown, but Kushida landed on his feet and sent Ricochet head over heels over the top rope down to the outside. Kushida then slid under the ropes to the outside after Ricochet and slammed Ricochet's left arm onto the edge of the ring apron. Kushida then went back to the inside of the ring and grabbed Ricochet's arm as he standed outside the ropes on the ring apron, and Kushida jerked Ricochet's arm and slammed it against the top rope. Kushida then used the middle rope for leverage, inflicting more damage to the left arm of Ricochet. Kushida then went to work on Ricochet's left arm, twisting and turning it in all directions. Kushida then hit Ricochet with a drop kick while Ricochet was already down on the mat. Kushida went for a pin, but Ricochet kicked out. Ricochet then went to the ropes to buy some time for his left arm that was feeling the pain from the workout Kushida was giving it. Kushida went back to the left arm, grounding Ricochet. Ricochet then started to kick Kushida from the ground, but Kushida kicked him back while he was down. Ricochet then caught Kushida with a punch to the gut and made his way to his feet, chopping Kushida. Kushida kicked Ricochet and went to bounce off the ropes, and Ricochet got him with a tornado kick that sent Kushida to the outside. Ricochet then went to the air, bouncing off the ropes with a space-flying tiger drop as the fans in Japan chanted, "Ricochet! Ricochet!" So an amazing move right there as he bounced off the ropes and did the space flying tiger drop. That was very impressive. Ricochet then forced Kushida into the ring apron. Ricochet then rolled Kushida into the ring and kicked him in the head, followed by 3 roundhouse kicks right to the chest of Kushida. Ricochet then Irish whipped Kushida into the corner and ran at him with a running elbow and then kicked him in the back while down and attempted a pin, but Kushida kicked out. Ricochet then snap-mirrored Kushida and jumped over the ropes to the outside ring apron and did a kneeling springboard into a senton. Ricochet, now in control, kicked Kushida in the head. Ricochet then picked Kushida up and gave him a European uppercut, followed by a knife-edge chop. Ricochet then snap-mirrored Kushida and did a European uppercut to the back of Kushida and went for a pin, but Kushida kicked out. Ricochet then hit Kushida with another European uppercut while Kushida was now on his feet, sending him into the corner. Ricochet then hit Kushida with another European uppercut and Irish whipped him towards the opposite corner, but Kushida reversed him and sent Ricochet into the corner instead. But as Kushida approached, Ricochet landed a big boot and then came off the middle rope with a flying European uppercut, followed by a pin, but Kushida kicked out. The two men started trading forearms, and then Ricochet hit Kushida with a knife-edge chop to the chest as the perspiration flew off of Kushida from the force of the chop, and then Ricochet Irish whipped Kushida, but Kushida reversed it, and Ricochet did a handspring off the ropes, and just as he was bouncing off the ropes, Kushida caught Ricochet with a vicious basement dropkick on his left arm. Ricochet then went to the outside to recover, but Kushida went to the top rope to take flight and landed a suicide swanton bomb. Kushida made his way back to the ring after that very impressive suicide swanton bomb, and the referee Red Shoes started counting. And in this tournament and in New Japan Pro Wrestling, it's a 20 count. So Ricochet made it back in at 17, and he was met by a dropkick to the face as he entered the ring. Kushida then went up top for a moonsault, landing it perfectly into a strong pin, but somehow Ricochet managed to kick out. Kushida then went for the buzzsaw kick but missed, and then caught Ricochet in the left arm with a kick and locked him up, putting pressure on that left arm, continuing to target the limb. Ricochet then rolled out and looked to be going for the Benadryller as he lifted Kushida into the fireman's carry, but instead dropped him into the GTS and went for the pin, but Kushida kicked out at 2.5. Both men now in opposite corners as Kushida looked to be trying to regain his win after that knee from Ricochet in the GTS. Ricochet then ran at Kushida and hit him with a hesitation dropkick, setting Kushida up for the springboard shooting star press, but Kushida got out of the way and Ricochet landed hard on the mat. Kushida then did the Oklahoma roll into the jackknife cover, but somehow Ricochet found the will to kick out at 2 7/8. Ricochet then chopped Kushida, who answered with a forearm. Ricochet then hit Kushida with multiple forearms, but then Kushida kicked Ricochet and unloaded with roundhouse kicks to Ricochet's left arm and shoulder. Ricochet then Irish whipped Kushida, who did a handspring into a back elbow. Kushida then bounced back off the ropes and spun around Ricochet, locking him into the hoverboard lock, but Ricochet found the ropes as he forced the break. Kushida then kicked Ricochet in the arm and then hit him with the buzzsaw kick and went for the pin, but Ricochet kicked out at 2.5. Kushida then put Ricochet into a full Nelson, into a dragon suplex with the bridge for the pin, but Ricochet somehow found a way to escape the fall. Kushida then slammed Ricochet down on the mat, setting him up as he went to the top rope and attempted his Midnight Express corkscrew moonsault, but Ricochet got out of the way. Now both men on their knees face to face, trading forearms, as you could see the fatigue of both men as they were fighting their second match of the evening, as they were giving everything they had, laying it all out on the line as they returned to their feet amidst the hard forearm shots. Ricochet's legs gave out from under him, but he dug down deep and somehow found the strength to deliver 3 straight European uppercuts. Kushida then grabbed Ricochet's arm with a wrist lock and gave him an arm wrench over his shoulder. Ricochet responded with a kick to the gut and to the back, followed by a Superman punch and then a Northern Sunlight suplex into a vertical suplex and covered Kushida for the pin. Kushida kicked out at 2, but Ricochet pulled him over to the corner, setting him up for a high-flying move as Ricochet went to the top rope, but Kushida was playing possum and started to chop and forearm Ricochet on the top rope as it looked like Kushida was going to go for a superplex, but Ricochet caught Kushida with a headbutt that forced Kushida off the ropes. Kushida then came running back to the corner with a handstand kick to Ricochet. Kushida then climbed back to the top rope, but Ricochet grabbed Kushida and put him in the fireman's carry while sitting on the top rope and then standing up on the middle rope. Ricochet hit Kushida with the Benadryller and went for the pin, but somehow Kushida kicked out. Ricochet wasting no time positioning Kushida as he climbed the ropes going to the top, and Ricochet came off the top ropes and hit the 630 senton splash. He went for the pin, but somehow, miraculously, Kushida kicks out. Ricochet then went for the Benadryller, lifting Kushida into the fireman's carry, but Kushida tucked the roundhouse kick and hit Ricochet with an enziguri. Kushida then went for an Irish whip, but Ricochet reversed it and Kushida did a handspring. Ricochet caught him and put him in the electric chair as Kushida tried to fight out and attempted a Hurricane Rana, but Ricochet countered it into the fireman's carry, but Kushida reversed it into the hoverboard lock, looking for the submission, locking it in with all of his might, but Ricochet fought it off and he rolled it into the fireman's carry. Kushida got loose and Ricochet landed a spin wheel kick and lifted Kushida back up into the fireman's carry, this time hitting Kushida with a Benadryller, and he pinned him 1, 2, 3 for the win, and Ricochet becomes the 4th Gaijin to win the Best of Super Junior tournament here at the Best of Super Junior 21. So Ricochet, a huge win, only the 4th Gaijin, only the 2nd American, and only the 2nd non-New Japan Pro Wrestler to win this tournament as he was representing Dragon Gate. And the only other 3 Gaijin to win this tournament was Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, and Finn Balor. Benoit did it twice, first as the Pegasus Kid in 93, and then as Wild Pegasus in 95, and then Eddie Guerrero as the Black Tiger 2 in 96, and then Prince Devitt in 2013. And so the only other American to win this tournament is Eddie Guerrero, as Benoit is from Canada and Prince Devitt is from Ireland. And Ricochet, as I said, only the 2nd non-New Japan Pro Wrestler to win this tournament. Like I said, he was representing Dragon Gate, and the only other non-New Japan Pro Wrestler to win was Kota Ibushi, who is the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, and who Ricochet will be facing for that title on the next airing of New Japan Pro Wrestling on AXS television. Of course, that happened last year, June 21st. This happened last year, June 8th, 2014. Now, when Kota Ibushi won, that was back in 2011, he was representing DDT. So what an amazing match, history-making. Ricochet, just an amazing performance, as well as Kushida, both excellent athletes. This match was, it was longer than the other two, a little bit slower paced early on as they were, working things over, as Kushida was working over that arm, but things got going, and they got going pretty crazy, so there was definitely a lot of high-flying action in the match as it would come to a conclusion as the match went on. Of course, both of these men had already wrestled top-notch competition earlier in the evening in the tournament here in the semifinals, and then in this finals matchup, putting together quite the classic match. It was an excellent exhibition. Definitely enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend that you check it out. They aired it on May 22nd, the replay May 29th. And you could set your DVRs. I would definitely recommend it. You can also check it out on demand. AXS TV, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Definitely worth checking out. And, excellent commentating by Ronaldo. Not really a fan of Barnett. He's kind of so-so. But Ronaldo does some excellent commentating. And I would definitely recommend to any fan of pro wrestling to go and check this out. Ricochet is somebody you want to check out for sure. He is a top talent that I would not be surprised to see him come stateside and end up in the WWE if he so chooses. As just the previous winner was Finn Balor. Prince Devitt won in 2013, so now Ricochet winning in the next year is back-to-back Gaijin win the Best of the Super Junior Tournament. The current Best of the Super Junior Tournament is taking place right now, as it will come to a completion on June 7th, 2015. Like I said, this is from June 8th, 2014, but they're just now airing it on AXS television. Regardless, though, I would say check this out. It's definitely some awesome wrestling, and they wrestle, a different style over in Japan. That style's actually been kind of coming into, wrestling here in the States a little bit more in the recent years. Of course, many wrestlers have wrestled over in New Japan and different other organizations over there over the years and have brought that style back over to the States. But it's a much more, it's a strong style. It's a much more physical, style. Just like even in the movies, the stuntmen over there, they actually want real physical contact. That's how the wrestling is over there as well. It's very physical, and it's very exciting to watch. So I would definitely recommend checking that out. And let me know what you thought of the match if you did check it out. Like I said, I know it's it's from over a year ago that it actually happened, so it's kind of old news, but it's still awesome wrestling that you should definitely check out. And if you haven't seen it, then it's new to you. So it was the first time I got a chance to see it. It was on AXS television. I'd only read about it previously and listened to and heard about it on podcasts. Which, if you want to check out more information about Ricochet, I would definitely recommend going to Colt Cabana's website and clicking on the podcast. They'll bring you to SoundCloud.com/Colt Cabana and listen to episode 192 of The Art of Wrestling. That's with Ricochet, and they talk about all this. And so you just got to scroll down a little bit, episode 192. Currently, the podcast is up to 252, so you gotta scroll down 60 episodes, but that'll only take about 10 seconds or so, maybe 20 seconds tops. But I would definitely recommend going and giving that a listen. It'll give you some more insight into this match and into Ricochet and his experience over there in Japan and in professional wrestling, as he's definitely one of the top talents in the world today. And also everybody, all four men that were in the semifinals, excellent, wrestlers. Kushida is awesome. Definitely dig his whole, Back to the Future gimmick. Is he's kind of like Marty McFly, that's how he's dressed. It's pretty cool. I love that movie. And also Taguchi, he's a legendary wrestler. He's awesome, just one of the greats. And then also Taichi is an excellent wrestler as well. So I would definitely recommend going and checking out the semifinals and the finals of the Best of the Super Junior 21. I hope you enjoyed my breakdown of it. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. Thank you very much for listening. It is appreciated.